Well, now we're going to shift gears just a little bit here, but what I was telling you about, that you need to have a real, true personal relationship with Jesus. I think that's where Augustine's confessions come in for me. When I met the Lord Jesus, Augustine had a major radical conversion. His mother was a Christian. My mother was a Christian. She lost her faith. She divorced her first husband, and it was a big mess. The church excommunicated her, and he used to beat her. He was an alcoholic. He used to beat her up, and so she divorced him. The church repaid her by excommunicating her. But anyway, so she kind of lost her faith, and I grew up, unlike Augustine, who grew up with his mother really having a very, very strong faith. I grew up with a mother who had a faith. Her grandfather was a missionary to South Africa. That's how our family got to South Africa, or to Africa. But she'd lost her faith and told us that when you die, the worms eat you up and all that sort of thing. But like Augustine, I lived a very pagan life, and he tested. If you read the Confessions, you'll read how he tested absolutely everything. He didn't deny himself anything of the flesh. I went through a similar period, and my conversion experience, his conversion experience, of course, he just longing, just yearning for something of substance, was very much my life. I was looking for something. I didn't know what I was looking for. Tried absolutely everything, which is always so odd to me. Why does everybody always try Christianity as the last resort? But that's what I did, and he had that experience of yearning for God and hearing the kids playing that game, and then picking up Romans, and reading from Romans, that he should forsake this way of life and really live for God. Well, I had a similar experience where I kind of said I was a Christian, but I wasn't really a Christian, and I was really mocking God. And I went to this crusade with a gal that she and I had hung out for a long time and done some really bad stuff together, and we were just friends, but and we went to this crusade. She invited me. She'd become a Christian in the meantime. She invited me to this crusade, and this guy sang a song from Dallas Home. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dallas Home. You're a little young for Dallas Home, but you can Google him. Dallas Home sang the song Rise Again. That was the one song that he was famous for. And part of the words were in the song was, go ahead and mock my name. My love for you is still the same. And that hit me right between my eyes, because I was doing that, I was mocking God. And I think that's the same thing that happened with Augustine. I think he was really looking for something, didn't know what he was really looking for, had gone through the whole Manichaeism phase and the whole philosophical phase, and had pretty much rejected what his mother had believed in, had that little torrid affair with the gal in Carthage, and had a son by her, and but when he heard that, there was a major change in his life. And I think that's what I can identify with.
Augustine was a great theologian, especially when you consider he lived 350 years after Christ. And so when you read him, it's hard to believe that he had so much developed theology and philosophy for his time. His doctrine of original sin, I think, helped to control theology even up to the present day. But a lot of his writings haven't influenced me directly. I've read excerpts from it. I've read parts of the Confessions. I've read parts of City of God, but I haven't read all of either one of them. I was trained at Reformed Seminary, and the Reformed theologians, Luther and Calvin most notably, studied Augustine. And so then later theologians studied Luther and Calvin. So you have a kind of a descending stair step to current day writers. And I'd have to say that even in seminary, we studied more contemporary writers than we did real ancient ones. Because I went to Reformed Seminary, I read more Luther and Calvin than most people in seminary would read.
And so it was more of an indirect effect than anything.
Because theology is something that it keeps developing. Now, it doesn't change drastically. Any times that theology changes drastically, you should pay careful attention. You know, a warning light should go off. But the beauty of theology is that it's all based on the biblical text. But different people synthesize it and not so much introduce new thought as it gains greater consistency. When you do read Augustine, you can see some inconsistencies that really don't appear in much later theology. Because you have to figure there have been hundreds of theologians writing, reading and examining, and thousands of sermons. And so a lot of theology has developed to a point today that there's not a lot of brand new thought. But I'd have to say that Augustine influenced some of the very early crystallization of what the Bible was teaching. Because, you know, the Bible doesn't teach theology systematically. You can read the Bible and you can pick up theology as you read it, but Augustine systematized different areas of theology. And some of it was philosophy as well. He talked about social issues, even way back there, and he talked about, for example, abortion. And he had very biblical, very conservative positions on all of that. What he believed about the end times is embraced by many today, and largely the way he articulated it.